You know, I've watched this movie multiple times today, and just the ending is even just such a jolt. It's just like, congratulations. Felt it in the audience here. Fran, can you exhale now?
Yeah.
I think you just did.
Yeah.
May I acknowledge, Frances McDormand, that may I acknowledge that this movie starts with you as a 14-year-old young woman who was drawn to this story, this role. Will you please tell us about Fran McDormand in like 1971 and what drew you to the tragedy, or even just the scene that you talked about? What were the, what, why, what, how?
Great English teacher, Menneson High School, Menneson, Pennsylvania. And Macbeth is a great first Shakespeare play for 7th graders. Mr. Denzel Washington. Where have you been? Where'd you go?
My publicist. My wife's birthday. Too bad.
Oh, yes.
Tuesday. She turns 39.
So I was telling them.
sorry.
I was telling them about how I read the play in 7th grade. Great starter Shakespeare play for kids because it's death and mayhem. What could be better? And we put together scenes after school, did them for our family and friends. I did the sleepwalking scene. The hook went in. It never left to this day. And I have to say it was to her credit that we didn't just do scenes from the play, but she had us all memorize the Tomorrow speech. And that was a great introduction to great poetry.
Denzel Washington, hello. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So as a student around the corner from this very spot where we're sitting, over at Fordham, you found Shakespeare. What did you make of Shakespeare then, and what did it mean to you?
I was so green and naive.
Yeah.
I would come to the Lincoln Center Library, and I don't know Shakespeare. I'm a big pentameter. It's great. And the first role I ever played was the Emperor Jones. The second one was Othello. So I just go listen to the Olivier tape record, and sort of the pity. So I just start there, and fell in love. And Joel asked me, and Fran asked me, and I'm like, when? Here we are.
Well, let's pick that up, Joel. The three of you, Denzel, Fran, spent months preparing. Before you even brought more people into the mix, it was the three of you, right? Tell us about that.
There was actually a considerable period of time during which the three of us got together and read the play a number of times together, and then started slowly breaking it down. And we were all on the West Coast at that point, and so we had that luxury of just being able to come in when we happened to all be free and work on it over, really informally work on it over a long period of time before, we were even close to shooting it. And I think that was really, it was a luxury you never get to have on a movie, just like having the whole cast together, which we did for about 3 or 4 weeks before we started, is a luxury you almost never get to have on a movie. But, so useful, obviously, when we were doing a play. So in this context, it really made sense, and I think it was not only a lot of fun, but it helped sort of make us into a company.
I'm going to just tell you a little story from our time together, the three of us, if I may. At one point, as actors do, Denzel and I were talking. Denzel said, "Where do you think we met?" And I said, "Who?" "Oh, them, the Macbeths." "Oh, okay, well, Shakespeare he wrote this other play called Romeo and Juliet about these two star-crossed lovers whose parents don't really want them to get together, but they do, and they commit suicide. But what if they didn't? And they turned out to be us." So we kind of went from there.
She said that, and you said,
Yes.
Corey Hawkins.
Yes, hello, hello.
Let me start by saying welcome home, Juilliard alum.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be back?
I don't know. It's scary because I don't know. I literally graduated on this stage, and I haven't been up here since then, and that was 2011. So it's a blessing. And Denzel, you talk about going to school only 1,000 feet away, and it just feels all full circle for me right now, and I'm still processing it because I just got to watch it again with all of you, and words just can't come to my mouth. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I will say, I was just humbled from by this experience from the very beginning. It's one of those jobs, and I say it all the time, but it's like, as actors, we're like, oh, give me this job. I hope I get this damn job, please, please, please. And then you get the job, and you're like, oh, God, why did they give me this damn job? What were they thinking? Oh, Jesus. But, I mean, the way, we were able to, when we walked into the room, the way each of you, it just was an unarming and an empowering journey to be in a room with these legends, and for them to watch them take risks at this stage in their careers. It's powerful. So I'll just leave it at that. But I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for you all.
Moses Ingram, I see you nodding your head. And you relate to what Corey's saying? How do you relate to what Corey's saying? I see you nodding your head.
Oh, completely. I mean, it's interesting, right? Like growing up, you spend your whole life watching people and wanting to be like them in the best way that you can, and you make your own stories for them, and they spend your greatest peaks with you and your greatest valleys with you in your homes, and then you meet them and they're only just meeting you. So it's a lot. It is a lot, but I feel so blessed to be a part of this experience. My last day, our last day at the table was my 26th birthday. And I walked by Mr. Denzel. I was like, "Mr. Denzel?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "I've tried to be professional this whole time. I really got questions." And for 2 hours we sat, and every question I had, he answered. And it's been the same with everyone sitting here, and these are things that I will get to tell young people after me. And I don't know, man. I'm just glad to be here.
Harry Melling, welcome.
Thank you.
I don't know. I'm sitting here, and we're sitting at Lincoln Center. This idea of a place that's in the '60s was meant to be this collision of all these art forms. On this campus, we have all these different forms of art represented. As I'm watching the film multiple times today, this last time I was thinking about acting. I was thinking about the process of acting. And I was thinking, I was actually thinking about you, Harry, and I wanted to ask you the question, and what I made in my notes here was, how did, well, I wrote down how did theater shape you, but then I started kind of rethinking the question, like how do you feel like acting has shaped you?
Oof. I mean, theatre is I would say is my, I just fell in love with going to the theatre and hearing those stories. And certainly Shakespeare, I think I saw The Tempest when I was like 5 years old. And I was in a box right at the back of the theatre, and I don't know how I got in, but somehow I did. And I watched this show, and I was just blown away by the potential magic that theatre can do. So that's what I guess, that was my sort of entry point into acting. And obviously I did it when I was very young, for a long time. But it was really, you guys talked about your education and going to school, and drama school was really important to me in terms of just bridging that gap into hopefully doing something that was useful. But the sense of community you have with people and making stuff, and certainly with this company of people, with the sense of going into certainly rehearse those first 3 or 4 weeks. I've never felt that on a film set before, that sense of everyone pulling together and learning the language together, which is a completely new experience for me. And I kind of found it very kind of overwhelming, I guess, the fact that everyone was pulling toward this vision, this striking vision that Joel had, and it was very powerful. So it means a hell of a lot, I think, is the answer.
Thank you. Bertie, Carvel.
Hi, guys.
Well, I wrote 2 questions for you to start, but I'm going to give you both, and let's see which one you want to pick up on. I first wrote down, what is this text? How does this text speak to you? But then I also wrote down, what turned you on to this craft, this path? And I wonder, are they connected? Are they disconnected?
If anyone in here knows what live role-playing is, that's what turned me on to it. Live role-playing is running around in caves and woods, usually, pretending to be elves, dwarves, and goblins. It's basically acting for no audience. And I did this every weekend from the age of 11 upwards. And then one day I figured out that there was a mainstream version of this that people, and now I'm at the New York Film Festival, everyone. But
is that where you got the eyebrows from?
This explains so much, Bertie.
I tell you what I want to pick up is, you said that this was meant to be, this meeting place of all these different art forms. And the thing that I love about this film, I don't know about anyone else here, but I mean, it's kind of been amazing after this year we've had, right, to see theatre any way you can. So I don't begrudge it, but I kind of hate filmed theatre. But I think this film is a better rendition of the magic of the theatre than any piece of film theatre I've ever seen. It somehow manages to be at once like the latest in a long and glorious line of, it has a cinematic heritage, but it also really moves me that Joel has managed to envision something that is theatrical in every sense, and that we shot it on these sound stages, but you could see painted backdrops and this magic that people don't do that stuff anymore. And I think the whole thing is such a brilliant meeting place of cinema and theatre. So thanks for that, Joel. It's really something.
I'm getting the signal, and I'm going to have one last question. I'm going to go back to Fran where we started, because you've been talking about this movie now for 12 hours today, right? It's been a nice day, I think.
Really nice.
But that's what I want to ask you about, because a few months ago, as we're trying to figure out how to put this festival together and bring the arts back and bring film back and bring Lincoln's Hitter back, we saw this movie and reached out to these two, and they said, maybe come talk to us. We'll have lunch and discuss the possibility of what we just experienced. And I want to say thank you for letting this movie bring us back. And Fran, I hope it was what you imagined.
Yeah.
How does it feel to now get to the end of this day that you must have been thinking about for a long time, since you were 14 years
Since I
old
was 14.
and not even realizing it?
Well, I think one of the most, being together with as many of the company members as we could, and a lot of people that worked on the film, was really, really great today. That was really important for us. But I think one of the best things we did today was talk to students after the screening that they had. Columbia, NYU, Juilliard, High School Performing Arts,
Pratt.
and the questions that they had, and the excitement that they had, and the energy that they had, and they put it to us, and it was exciting. It was really exciting to know that we were engaging with them, and that you got them tickets tonight too, which is really good.
Students here, a bunch. Welcome back. We'll see you again here tomorrow night, the next night, the next night, the next night, the next night. Thank you very much. Woo! Congratulations.